All right, so welcome to the exchange. So, first and foremost, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just here to give you my opinion on what I see in the stock markets. Looking to the left to see what has happened, then looking to the right to see what may happen. Do your own due diligence. Make sure you invest money in things you know about. If you don't know, invest in yourself and learn. That's the best way you can make money out here and have some security in these markets. So, let's look at what happens to stock markets so we can get a better idea and some security in exchange. Welcome to the Exchange Show.
All right, welcome to the exchange. Here we go with Bitcoin. On Bitcoin, you notice we have a double top. So I had a very nice play for BITO. I personally do not play a cryptocurrency, but I do play ETFs that match it. So for me, I had a good run up. My trade went up to the supply zone. It just kissed it. So I don't look for the exact. This is what I would have liked the way the trade is marked out all the way up here, but I knew essentially I would make it to this area and I was fine cutting it there. So as soon as it got there, it was actually like at this candle here on that day. It wasn't even at 70,000. It was like at 69 and change. I was like, nope, that's enough for me. And I got out. So I was happy with this play on Bitcoin. If you're looking to do another play on Bitcoin, but you're looking for a bullish sentiment, I'm going to tell you, you may be able to jump in now, maybe, but I would still be patient. And the only reason I want to say be patient is because you have a big demand area down here. All right, there's a big demand area there, and it hasn't really been tapped much. Currently, let's see, the algorithm is saying sell, sell, sell. We got under the 200. We got some rejection off of 57,000. Currently, we're at 59,000. I wouldn't be surprised if it came back down, and I'm looking for it at least to go to the demand zone around the 51,000 area. If at that point you get a rejection, I would look for a bounce from 51,000 back up for a bullish run. But until then, I would just, if I was looking to do anything with Bitcoin for me, I'm just going to be looking to short it at this time. Only because I see just downward motion, and that double top is very prominent. It ha- it, hap- it happened here at 57 and it bounced, but I'm at this point I'm not a believer in bullish Bitcoin. I see it going down a little bit more. Now, if you notice, I got another entry down here at 53. I'm actually going to move that down a little bit further, and we're going to take this down here to where this demand level is, right around that area. And we're going to get rid of this because it's no longer needed. And we're going to go on to the next one. The next thing we're going to talk about is the SPY. So let's talk about SPY. SPY has a lot going on. All right. First and foremost, you got a gap. So let's turn all this off first. Let's look at just a regular price action. We're bouncing off a demand zone. This is kind of like what's going on in Bitcoin, but I still see more downside. So currently we had an inner trend line. We broke that, made a gap, hit our outer trend line, bounced up, filled our gap. So it went from here, breaking inner, to the outer trend line, filled the gap here that was already there. After it made this gap, it filled this gap, created another gap to the downside. Currently, we're tapping into a small demand zone here at that 529 area. Yeah, 529 area. But here's the thing. If you're looking at SPY, because I know a lot of people do, because I do, I look at it all the time. This currently is just 6%. Currently, like generally, I look for a 6% pullback for a 12% rise. If this continues, if I do not see a bullish breakout from this area, I would then look for it to fill the gaps down here, right to there. So around 50, 505, 506, there are gaps there, and there's a small gap at the 512 area that needs to be filled as well. So let's see. There we go. It's a very small gap, but it is there. So you have gaps over here at 512, at 513, and another gap at 508 down to 505, aka 506. Yeah, currently, I'm looking forward to continue down. One of the things is I'm a moving average trader. I like looking at moving averages. Currently, I have 2 breaks of trend lines, so that's another sign that it's going down. Second, I have a cross. I have a sell signal. I have another sell signal with a pullback here to. I mean, everything's looking great for sell. Here's the issue. We are at the 100-day moving average. If we break this 100-day moving average, we're going to the 200. It's most likely what's going to happen, like 9 times out of 10. So if this happens and we get down to the 200-day moving average, what is that? 500. By the time price gets here, this average may be a little bit higher. It may be at 503, 504, or 505. So with SPY, that's what I see, more continuation to the downside. If you're looking at Tesla, so I know Tesla is a big one, and we're going to look at that too. We are still looking for more upward movement, but we have to see if we're going to hold this 200-day moving average. Okay, so we filled our gap here. I thought it would fill the gap and then take off again. It filled that gap a little bit that was above it up to the 245 area, but it stopped at 234. Now, generally, I'm still happy because I got in under 200, so I'm yay me. But we had to see if it's going to bounce at 200-day moving average and continue up, or if it's going to continue to go down. If it goes down, there is a gap at 155 to 148. So that is going to be a great buying opportunity if you see it go that far at 140. Was it 148 or 147 to 150, 157, 158 area. So if you're looking to buy Tesla, I wouldn't even look at it again until it gets down there to fill that gap. Just put an order and wait. Next thing on the list is Apple. Let's talk about Apple. I haven't talked about Apple in a long time, actually. So I'm looking for a bearish movement. I already had this up here as a head and shoulders pattern with a demand zone down here with a 200-day here. We need to break the 50-day moving average. So if we can, first off, if we break here, $214. 214 is, no lie, that's going to be an entry. So why would you mark up Apple? A lot of times you can mark up Apple because you want to see if, and I know this will be a bearish entry now, I want to see if SPY is going to go down. So if I see a head and shoulders pattern on Apple, I know SPY is going to go down because it's heavily weighted in SPY. So the next one I want to look at is, let's see, so 214 down to this 192 to 196 area. That's what I would look for Apple. That fills up a demand zone. Next, I'm going to look at, there's one I haven't looked at in a very, very long time, Square. So Square, if you don't remember this, I should have played this. Oh man, this was good. There was a gap up here. I missed this. I missed it. But then I looked and I didn't get too upset because I saw there's a gap down here, and between $53 and $52. Currently we're at we're at $60. Okay. So I'm not super pissed. I'm not super mad. What I will wait for is I'm waiting for one more push up, probably to 64, or right here around high 63s for entry to the downside. I'm looking for entry to the downside on Square. And the reason being is it's supposed to be going down, and why not enjoy the ride? So if it's going down, I want to make some money. And you can see the algorithm says most likely this last stop is going to be $51. I'm only looking for about 53. So I am very cautious when I trade. If I can make money, I'm happy. If I can't, guess what? I'm not going to be trading. And that's it for this week. So enjoy. I hope this was a good video for you. See you next week on the exchange.